Hey, what's up? It's Amanda and I'm back with another video. So today's video is going to be my 5-star predictions. I have 10 books to share with y'all, and let's just get right on into the video. So I've never done a video like this before, choosing some 5-star predictions, but these are ones that I can confidently say I've been looking at for a long time and thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to read that book because I think it's going to be a 5-star. Has that also affected the timeline of like when I am going to read that book? Yes, because the more I think, oh my gosh, this is so going to be a 5-star, the more I put it off, which is not good. But all of these are physical books on my TBR, so they are going to get read eventually. So the first book is by an author that I have read from before, and I have given, I believe, 4 and 5 stars. And this is Sadie by Courtney Summers. I know nothing about this book. I just know that it's by Courtney Summers and that I love all of the books that I've read by her so far. I also have the book Cracked Up to be on my TBR, but that one is not a 5-star prediction as much as this one is a 5-star prediction. So this is the first one. I'll read the back to you. It says, when popular radio personality Wes McCrae receives a desperate phone call from a stranger imploring him to find 19-year-old runaway Sadie Hunter, he's not convinced there's a story there. Girls go missing all the time. But when it's revealed that Sadie fled home after the brutal murder of her little sister, Maddie, Wes travels to the small town of Cold Creek, Colorado to uncover what happened. So yeah, this one sounds really good. I know that a lot of people talk about the fact that this is one of the first books that did like a podcast element to it with the audiobook. So I'm very excited to get into it. And yeah. So the next book that I have to share with you is a book that I just think is like a gorgeous cover, but also I think that I'm really going to enjoy the actual story behind it. So this is Circe by Madeline Miller. I read The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller like 2 years ago for a book club I was a part of, and I thought the writing was gorgeous, but I didn't really connect as much to the characters as I wanted to. But this one I feel like is totally up my alley. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know much about this one either. That's gonna be a running trend with this. I like to go into my books pretty much blind and just go off vibes. So this one I'm just getting really good vibes from. Everything that I've heard of from people who have reviewed this makes me intrigued to read this and makes me really think I'm gonna like it. So that's why this is on my 5-star predictions list. This next one is a book that I've actually never read from the author before. This is How Beautiful We Were by Mbolo Umbue. I hope I pronounced that right. But this is, from what I understand, like a love story. Not necessarily a romance, but a love story. And that intrigues me because I love romances, don't get me wrong, but like after reading so many romances, it's like, okay, yeah, they're gonna get together in the end. You know what I mean? So like reading something where they might not get together in the end is intriguing to me, and I think I'm really gonna like this. I've heard that the writing is really beautiful and lush and just all around very poetic. So I'm excited to get into this one. Alrighty, so the next book that I have is actually a nonfiction book. I have only 2 nonfiction books on this list because I haven't been gravitating towards nonfiction that much this year, even though my goal was to read 20% of my books, make them nonfiction. That goal has gone out the window, if I'm gonna be real with y'all. But this book is Greedy by Jen Winston. This book, all I know is that it explores sexuality, and I'm intrigued. I know that Ilana Glazer blurbed the back of it, and I love Ilana Glazer, so that also is giving me good vibes. But yeah, I've heard really amazing things about this book, so that's why it's on my 5-star predictions. I just think I'm going to eat this up. No pun intended. This next book is another nonfiction. This is a memoir though. This is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I've never read a Dolly Alderton before, but I know that this is the one that everybody reads in their 20s and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, insightful, beautiful, whatever. So I just feel like I need to hop on the train and read this while I'm still in my 20s. Not that I'm that close to leaving my 20s, but like I've put this off for 3 years already. So another 3 years and we're almost at the end of my 20s. So anyways, so yeah, I love a good memoir. I love a memoir that explores sexuality and relationships, not necessarily just romantic relationships, but also friendships, like female friendships. Love that. And I heard that this talks a lot about female friendships. So I'm very excited to get into this one. Next is a book that severely intimidates me, but also I'm just so excited to get into this one. This is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. Now this is a very famous book, okay? This made it onto New York Times' top 100 books of the 21st century. And it was actually voted #1. So out of all 100 books, this was #1 best book of the 21st century. So I'm just really itching to read this one. I know that there's such a mystery behind the author and like all that stuff, but I don't really care about that. I really just have heard such amazing things about this book and that this book is like life-changing. So that's what I'm here for. Next is our second fantasy book. I don't read a ton of fantasy, in my opinion at least. I don't read a ton of fantasy, but my Storygraph statistics say otherwise. This is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. So this one, I just have heard that it is like a cute, cozy fantasy, a romantasy almost, but not in the same vein as like ACOTAR. This is like light fantasy, mostly romance from what I heard or something like that. And it's just about these professors that are studying fairies. One is grumpy and one is just like a golden retriever. And I love that dynamic. So that's why this is on my 5-star predictions. Next is a book that I am so excited to get into. This is You Again by Kate Goldbeck. This is giving ultimate fall vibes. Ultimate fall vibes. I am so excited to get into this. You have no idea. I really want to pick it up now because of the fall vibes. Like, I'm just getting into the fall mood right now, even though it is still August. I know. But I don't care. But this one is a fun little romance, and all I know is that it's set in New York in the fall time. And it's also kind of like Kylo Ren fanfic published, something like that. I don't know anything about that, but nevertheless, it still makes me intrigued to read this. Okay, we have 2 more left, y'all. This next one, I just have a very strong feeling that I'm going to absolutely devour this. This is Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang. Everybody that I follow on YouTube that was really anticipating Rouge and also Youth Juice say that this is a better version of all of those books. So I'm like, sign me up, because I read both of those and I loved Rouge, but Youth Juice left something to be desired. So this, all I know is like it's a horror about the beauty industry. And that's all I really need to know. It's a debut novel as far as I remember reading about it. But I just think it's going to be a good, spooky, scary time. And lastly, I have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I never was really like a Kristen Hanna fan, but then I read The Great Alone and it like really changed me. Like it changed my opinion on historical fiction because it was just so good and I was like, what the heck? So this one, as far as I know, is Kristen Hanna's like most famous book that she has written. This is set in like World War II era during the war, and it follows several different women. That's all I need to know. I know that people cry during this, like during their reading with this book, and I really am craving a good cry right now, so this is another 5-star prediction. Alright y'all, so here are all of my 5-star predictions. I have 10 on here. Will I be getting to these this year? Good question, I would love to tell you. I have no idea, but I am nevertheless very excited to get into these books. I do want to tackle at least 1 or 2 of them this year, but we shall see what the rest of the year holds. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, comment any red emoji because of the red on Sadie on the cover. It just like stands out against the white. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias. I have Instagram, Threads, TikTok, the Storygraph, and Goodreads, so follow me or friend me on all of those. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. Do all the YouTube things, and it really helps your girl out. With that being said, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.